All right, I have a drink. This is the zero sugar plum. It's oh my gosh, this is so tasty. Sparkling ice. You're leaving money on the table, my friends. Yep, Hoylepa. Have a wonderful Friday. Enjoy it. Thank you for being up so early in the morning and being a part of our workshop. See you again, my friend. All right. Well, let's get back to it now. Oh, okay. Oh, just a couple hours. Oh my gosh, Heretic, get out of here. But thank you for the link, by the way, Heretic. I did appreciate it. There's a lot of good stuff there. Pardon me. But yep, be well. Thank you for, and we shall have our Gothmore somewhere. We will think of you, Heretic Trance, and we will have our Gothmore. All right. So this is where we had left off. We were talking about the setting of fantasy, how important it is. Of course, we explored just what is Grimdark and how it is society. Like it's a sociological, a societal horror. Aspects of nihilism and things like that for the fantasy that you all wanted to explore writing this month. So we use this as an example and also an impromptu story to be told about where the story takes place can have an effect. The setting is a character in your fantasy story. That is a part of the entertainment and the escapism. And I really I really hope that for those of you who do creative writing, hi Hero Dragon, for those of you who do creative writing, that you will make sure to remember that, embrace it, and bring it to life in a way that it has some place be more than just not late medieval Western Europe, not China, not Japan, not like a very thinly veiled, well, it's 99% this, but the 1% that's the secret sauce that I put into the recipe. Which it can make it different, yes, but ultimately and especially it's not that we are lack of choice for watching things that can be escapism and entertaining. Being on the front lines of pop culture, I definitely would argue that there has been a shortage of escapism, of entertainment, as opposed to content. Content is filler. Just sort of like in tone. Like it's there. It's not that it can't be entertaining. I mean, I'm producing content right now, though hopefully it's seen as not just content and something that is more engaging, thought-provoking, conversational. But with the shift to this kind of mass-produced content and the exploitation of the goodwill and the memories, the feelings and passions people had for things, it's really run the well dry. Now, there's more to it than just that, but I don't need to get into the weeds, at least not in a conversation now about that. And none of you have to agree with me. I'm, if you do, you do, and if you don't, you don't. You're not going to be my best friend if you do, and you're not going to be my enemy if you don't. But I am sick and tired of the incessant reboots, remasters, reshoots, um, resurgences, revisitations, all of this. I am tired of it. I don't want more sequels. I want more ideas. I don't want to return to a commodified piece of content that is not escapism, nor is that entertainment. Now, what this does... Hi, IMW. And it's because the spirit is gone. It's, well, the algorithm says that people watch this, and so make something that looks like it, and duh, people are going to watch it. Like your mindless cattle. What this does, and we're not going to slip into some dystopian, grimdark, bleak outlook for entertainment and pop culture and storytelling. This means you. Yes, I'm talking to you. I'm pointing to you right now. We're making eye contact. You are within the sound of my voice. You have the opportunity to create compelling stories through the written word in a novel, by your illustrations, by a fusion of the two, and maybe you produce some sort of comic, through music. There are so many accessible tools and ways to learn about using these tools, especially this one up here. And this is the one I always hope to keep sharp with you all. I like having fun with you and laughing. I also want to make sure that you are challenged, that you are thinking, but in a way that's engaging, and hopefully not too infuriating. But we have this, and what are we going to do with it? Let's look at this concept of setting, and especially when it might come to either grimdark straight up, or types of fantasy that come close. I'm going to play some examples for you, and then we are going to, with your all's help and the core rule books, we're going to make the setting for our grimdark adventure come to life, okay? Now, if you've never done this workshop before, that's fine. I'll hold your hand and we'll go through it. It's not going to be difficult. But it is participatory. As much as any of you want to participate. All right. Setting is important. Setting is a character itself. Let's explore settings in fantasy. Okay? And we'll break it down. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole part of this, but we're going to watch this, break it down for the elements. You all are very welcome to add your own observations, ask questions, and then we're going to put this example of setting away and then move on to another one. We're going to create the bounds of context, and that is going to give us our playground for the ideas. Bye. Have a good day, Hoylepa. Here we go.
They told me, son, you're special. You were born to do great things. You know what? They were right.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture. A city where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, rapture can become your city as well.
Yeah, there we go. That might help. Anyway, hi everyone. I have a microphone. Thank you, Rip Artist. And that is exactly why I have that emote right there. If you type muted with a capital M, it'll show up. This is textbook case of why and how the setting is important in any fantasy story. I would make the case that this is more science fiction, but whatever, 6 to one, half dozen to the other. What did we learn in the world building? And by the way, the world building continues throughout the course of you playing this game. Well, apparently this game takes place in an underwater city named Rapture. We open with the time and a general location, the mid-Atlantic, wherever that is, right? There's a plane crash. There's beautiful themes also brought up. Look. Oh, love it. Look at this. We have art. Everything is strong, simple, art deco, the height of something. This almost looks like beautiful, pure, clear water dripping from a fountain. And then it rusts. The light shifts as if there's been a change. Pardon. We see this is going down. We've crashed into the ocean. But look, from just looking a couple inches above, we can see a tower, a lighthouse. We're saved, right? Look at it. It looks beautiful and strong. This is a safe place. Now, what do you notice, if only subtly? What is something that you notice that might be a subtle hint of things to come? Well, it looks like one of the lights is out and blinking. Now, that might happen. It was clearly in the water. Now, it was also, off to the side. Maybe the plane hit it. Or a boat might have. Now, there's not really a traditional dock. Are people supposed... Well, the darkness and the mist, it can be nighttime over the Atlantic. And the Atlantic can get cold as well. Now, that is part of the environmental storytelling, yes. But, it gets dark, and then suddenly we are, oh, wow, that looks so fancy. Beautiful. And then we were met by the stern face of the very clean-cut man with the bold banner. Oh, look at this. This is captivating. Yeah, no gods or kings, only man. This must be a paradise we're entering. A place where, as you heard, and of course this also helps to, date things, kind of give an approximation of it. But then the reveal. Look at our setting. The game takes place in these buildings. Though a lot more from the inside than the out. This is all world building. These are things that you would be describing in your novel as the bathysphere cruised through the watery lanes between the buildings of Rapture. So, neon signs do buzz, so that happens to a couple of them. That's to be understood, right? That's okay. And we even saw that there was someone working on one of the tubes. Okay, so people live here. People work here. And so whoever that person is, that is a person, right? Yeah, it's just a big diving suit. So whoever that person is, is doing the work. And there's a little bit of conversation, but here we go. We're entering the city. All good things of this earth flow bzz, 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 into the city. Huh. And now we're met by advertisements? All right, then. Well, I highly suggest you all play BioShock. It is a personally recommended game from me to you. Give it a go. I hope that you enjoy it. Especially if you are into the topics we're discussing now. All right. This could very much be described as a dystopia, the more that you learn. Of course, things are presented very clean and neat and strong. And as the game progresses, you may find out in the next 2 minutes from the intro that perhaps something is amiss. Now, what's another way that we can go about building a setting, describing it, setting the tone, the emotions, setting the type of escapism that and entertainment that we hope to glean from whatever it is that we are trying? Let's go urban. Wait a minute, we had a place called Gothmore, right? Well, from Gothmore, I guess over to Gotham. Oh, we're all about the Goths tonight. Heretic Trance isn't here. But let's see what we find for a setting from these few minutes.
As my plastic surgeon always said, if you gotta go, go with a smile.
Gas. He's going to kill everybody!
Get in the car.
No!
Get in the car.
Hurry! My balloons. Those are my balloons.
What did we pick up? What did we learn about this moment in a movie? It tells a story itself if you've never seen the Batman 1989 movie. But we can learn. Oh, good morning to you, Tony. We can learn much about where this is taking place because Gotham City tells part of the story of Batman. When we look at the shots of the city, we see tall buildings. Things seem crowded and narrow. Things also seem dirty. There's trash everywhere along this public parade route. A lot of just exposed metal and just sort of gray and brown stone. Things look just sort of wet and dreary. There's the neon signs that are classical to it. Now look here. Gotham City has a tall, narrow castle. Almost like something you'd expect to see a vampire in. And you might say, well, what is that doing here? Well, what does it add? Yes, that's a good question. What's a castle doing in Gotham here? But we have this nice shot of this sleek, technological, advanced vehicle set against an archaic, cloistered, claustrophobic city. Here we go. We're swooping in. If you see how everything is just so, we have that same kind of Art Deco style, but it's darker than what Rapture was. It is narrow. It is thinner. The spotlights are drawing our attention to where the action is, of course, but you can see that there's just a dark city everywhere else. Why is Gotham so dark? And here we go. Even the Batwing, I think, the plane, as we're swooping in between the buildings. It's so cloistered. More of the classic neon signs. We take a look around, see just like old metal everywhere here. Just, is there anything that's new? Now, granted, at the time, you'd say whatever about the cars or something else. But Gotham does look kind of old, dated, tired, rusty, dreary. It looks huddled up on itself. And that's exactly the point that Gotham City needs to establish for the stories of Batman and the rogues gallery against whom he fights. Hi, Brasilis. And just as all of this, whether it's done through what's the type of painting, like the background paintings, or constructed models, or creative angles of shooting, or composites, all of this is done purposely. Even though you see this scene for what, just a couple seconds? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Maybe 2 seconds. That was kind of a quick 3 count. This reinforces a little bit at a time, consistency everywhere. We have now someone who can navigate the huddled masses, the people very literally dying in the streets, chasing after money. And then what happens? We almost have this impact. There's that castle. Oh, can he do it? Swerves and then does once more, very dramatic. And there's the full moon, of course. It's always a full moon in Gotham. And then the city. which itself looks very much like one big castle. Dark, dreary, cold, wet, stone. The city itself just looks like an old castle. And who knows what monsters lurk in the dungeons or sit on the thrones of that place. So hopefully, through the description that we went through and the consistency of the things that you've seen, this is another example of using your setting in your fantasy story. Because your setting reinforces everything that's happening. If you're going to believe that a billionaire in a bat suit is getting into a fight with a criminal in a clown face, you need a backdrop like Gotham. Because it accentuates the characters. It keeps things close. It keeps things focused. But it also tells more about how these characters have come to be. In fact, I think I will skip that next one. We're going to reinforce this with another clip, if you're ready. Thank you. There we go. So, why do I use this as an example? What can we learn? Well, it's technological, probably more in the realm of sci-fi than fantasy, but it's still a very important factor. Remember, all of this was manufactured. I mean, not that it doesn't, Bersilis, you talked about practical effects up here. Not that it's not chosen if you're using CGI, but especially in practical effects, when hands are put onto things to make the things by hand, by sight, to test everything, it's real, it's manifested, and it's there. There's a purpose. So, we see this factory, right? Well, something's happening. Can you describe this? If you were writing this, the flashing, did you hear the sirens? Let's listen. Clearly, hi Rosewolf, something's happening. The strobing lights. But did you also notice, and this does play into the setting, we hear, beyond the sirens, I want you all to listen closely, okay? Turn it up a little bit if you have to, but don't blow your eardrums out. This is something maybe you caught on, maybe you didn't. What do you hear when she approaches us from the elevator? And it'll happen again if you listen. There, listen. Did you hear it? Not the sirens. Did you catch it? Now, mind you, if you're telling this story, this is your setting. It's not the beeps either. Ooh, this is... Yeah, it's not... I'm not going for the beeps. I'm also not going for the sirens. Woden. It's not a cat hissing. Yeah, there we go. The hissing. Now, the hissing also comes from the aliens, the xenomorphs. And in a sense, we're getting that. Every time she sweeps that torch, like the igniter for the flamethrower by us. That is a narrative moment that you have to describe. Some of you, and the steam hissing. Those creatures hiss when you're close. And she has to compete against this facility hissing and her own weapon hissing. And what does this do? That backs up what she just spent the past minute here. She gets off the elevator. What's the first thing she does? What was that? And what's she doing? Yes, because they can cling to... We've seen it. We've seen it in the movie to this point. They can cling onto the wall, onto the ceiling. They're like bugs. As soon as she leaves the safety of the known roof above her, the first thing she does is look up. And now she's surrounded by everything, including her own weapon, hissing. This is high stakes. The environment is getting ready. If you can't tell, the environment itself is about to not be an environment. Ironic, because it's an environmental processor. The setting will no longer be, and that is part of the threat. And look, as we make our descent, things go dark. And now we're seeing the corridors start to become choked with this biological matter. And we get deeper in. Beep, 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 beep. We're getting closer, right? That is the tracker. Is that her heartbeat? Are you describing this in your novel? I hope so. Her heart is racing. She's trying to save Newt. Our hearts are going quicker and quicker and quicker. She's almost there. What just happened? What just happened there? Why is this a part of the environment and the setting? Did you hear? She found the tracker. And that beep, beep, beep of the racing heart. After Fav got it. Her heart is now broken. Her heart is broken because that should have been Newt. And she knows exactly, Bersilis. She knows what is going on. She's seen it before. And her heart breaks. And we also saw... Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh. That goop. That stuff. And now, it's quiet. Not too far away, but it gets quiet. Some suspenseful music. And we see what happens. And everything that she did is reinforced by what's going to happen now as she runs to the rescue. Bang! The music starts up. This is it. She's got to get there. She knows what's happening. If she can scream, she hasn't been face hugged yet. Loud noises. Here we go. Also, you all are going to get a permission slip for when you write and you create, okay? Are you ready? Of course, the xenomorphs come racing in for hearing the noise and that the facehugger is disrupted. I am giving you a permission slip when you write. Because James Cameron, a not unknown director with a very large budget and a lot of experience, has a wire showing on the monster. Right here. Now let's go to a happier place. I do have something from Raiders. I don't think we'll watch it as part of this. We'll do it afterwards. One last example of the environment, of the setting being important.
Morning.
What are you doing?
Carving your name. See? C-R-Y-S.
No, you mustn't do that. Here. Can't you feel its pain?
It's pain?
Yes.
Humans can't feel anything. They're numb from the brain down.
Oh, Zach. He doesn't understand.
Did I say something wrong? So, which way to Fern Gully?
Oh!
Isn't this great? Wow. What is this place?
This is Fern Gully.
Hey, Crystal, what's this?
Careful, Stump. He's a human.
Hey, how does it taste?
Got it. A human?
Is this what we're looking for?
Yabo!
Hey, that's my human.
I'm blind! No! I can see! It's a miracle! Another perfect landing. No worries. I'm okay. Thank you for caring. Just a few bruises.
Nobody cares about me.
I do, Batman.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Only fools are positive.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I fell for it. I could have known.
Clarissa, we were so worried about... What's that?
Father, I'd like you to meet Zach.
Hi.
He's a bodacious babe.
What?
He's a human.
Somehow I thought they'd be... bigger.
Well, I had a little accident and he sort of shrank. But just think, humans back in the forest.
Yep. There goes the neighborhood.
Be nice, Batty.
First thing, all these trees go. Then come your highways, then come your shopping malls, and your parking lots and your convenience stores, and then come... Price check on prune juice, Bob. Price check on prune juice.
Krista, where you been? I've been looking all over for you.
Pips, you won't believe what I found. Isn't he amazing?
Should we be charging admission for this? Well, that's all you gotta say. I've been out all night, and you want to show me this weird creature here?
This weird creature is a human.
He's kind of small, ain't he?
Once more, I was muted. Thank you. So what did we learn and what did we see? This is still, it's telling us about the story we're escaping our world into this one. It's not quite as claustrophobic as Gotham. It is bright, but in a more stable way, so not as panicked as Alien. It arguably has elements of our introduction to Rapture, though not quite as underwater. But we see so much. Look, we have shrunk. We can see the dewdrops on the leaves. The detail here was explicitly chosen to showcase nature's beauty, the little things that most of us might actually miss. When was the last time you might have stopped to admire or see the vast amount of water that collects on mushrooms and leaves? Look how lush and green. And it's implied maybe it's humid in a rainforest. Look how hazy it gets, not that far off. So there's a lot of light, but it's diffuse. Everything is verdant. Even the characters are very animated. You can clearly tell by this still what is happening. How does she feel? The hand gesture. We get a sense for this strange new world, even though it's technically our world. But it's that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of a thing, right? So now we're riding in a leaf. Look at the creatures bounding here, the kangaroos. We hear the noises.
Isn't this great?
Haha, this is great. This is new to him. This is every day to her. And as we find out, these are a completely different people. They ride on beetles. They have their own society. They're curious about humans as a creature, almost to be found or owned like a stray pet. But there are still norms. We get the bond between them, a rivalry, similar emotions to what we may feel as humans, so too do they, providing that relatability, but they might offer it in a different, with a different take, a different tone. And all of this is backed up with the setting. Look at how each of these characters in the background are resting, relaxing. This one's just straight up upside down. There's a mother with her child. Maybe the father. There's like a little kid kind of with a oh, what's going on? Here's someone wearing an acorn for a hat. But we do get a great look. Oh, there's magic. Beyond the fact that we have flying, like fairies and pixies and such. But we're now becoming more immersed. We're going from things that we can conceptualize, all right, the same world, but we're small. Now, we're in a world where this person has a snail shell on her head as a hat. It's a hat, but this could mean something. Is this a fashion statement? Political? Religious? Somehow a showing of societal caste or wealth? But this is the storytelling, the environmental stuff that I love to bring up and explore. Now, with your all's help, we are going to make our setting come to life. Let's get something to play in the background here. This is called The Secret Garden. All right, Demon Quiller, I need you to type exclamation point 2D8. And the reason for that is we're going to start off with our region, where our dystopian, grimdark story of fantasy is going to be told. I like having two different biomes kind of butted up against each other. Now, something can take place completely within one, a completely desert area, a complete Arctic or something. For purposes of this exercise, I like going with two. All right, Silas is lurking. We don't have Demon Quiller. Afterfov, are you still here? Who is still here? Who can I call on? I want to keep this moving along. All right, Afterfov, 2D8, please. Exclamation point, 2D8. All right, everyone, I'm calling specific people out because there's a cooldown on the dice. So in this instance, I wanted Afterfov to roll the 2d8. So I'll call on you, just be patient. It's not a first come, first serve. All right, Afterfov gives us 2 6s. So that would be Arctic, coast, desert, forest, grassland, mountain. Mountain, but let's get something different. Afterfov, 1d6, please. Lands on a 3. Desert and mountain. Okay. And by the way, the reason that I use these 8 is because in a game of D&D, on which we're basing this fantasy story, there are 8 biomes that have mechanical effects for druids and rangers. All right, now crack open your Dungeon Master guides, and we are going to page. We are going to page 18. Bersilas, exclamation point 1D100, please. What type of government is ruling over this dystopian, grimdark setting? Lands on a 24. A dictatorship. Can I get some It Writes Itself in chat, please? Dictatorship. One supreme ruler holds absolute authority, but his or her rule isn't necessarily dynastic. In other respects, this resembles an autocracy. In the Greyhawk campaign setting, a half-demon named Eus is the dictator of a conquered land that bears his name. Desert, mountain, it's a dictatorship, it's a dystopian, grimdark setting. This is the first Mario Brothers movie, the live-action one. I'm calling it now. All we need next are some mushroom people and dinosaurs. So I guess if we get gnomes in Dragonborn, I guess that's close enough. Now, in any location, I agree, Tony, I agree. In any location, I would argue, you can name 3 different things that are interesting about your city, your county, your state or province, your region, or even your country. Or depending on where you live, I mean, have your parcels of land selected other ways. And what I like to do, and you can use more or less, is to make sure every place has at least 3 interesting things that we can describe and have elements of the story take place. So, Tony, I would like you to roll 2d20 in chat, please. Rosewolf of the Book Devouring Horde. I would like you to type exclamation point 1d20 in chat. Now, our two monuments are 20 and 17. There is a totem pole and a fountain. And these beg the question, why were these made? Did the current people make them, or are they holdovers from a past age or belief? Was this something that was, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? There's many questions that can spring up here. Rosewolf, if you're not here, I'll call on someone else. Let's go. Rip Artist. Exclamation point 1d20, please. Now, our weird locale, because look, every place has some place strange, creepy, supernatural, auspicious, something like that. Rip Artist lands on a 4. A boulder carved with talking faces. Totem pole has different looks for the dictator. So somewhere here in this desert mountain region, there's a boulder that's carved with talking faces. Yeah, it could be a sign of opposition. It could be an old relic of something past. It could be a new contraption. Maybe the boulder carved with talking faces is what snitches on people who would see the dictator thrown down. And so the boulder carved with talking faces is something that people avoid, like the Eye of Sauron kind of a thing. Wouldn't it be cool if the faces, animals on the totem pole spoke? And you know what, Tony? Given the prompt that we have a boulder with it, and we have this totem pole, let alone a fountain. Fountains babble. And so too do people. There's even a Tower of Babel. What if that is part of something? That spirits or something, or if they're just used as communication devices, like sending stones. A magical kind of a conveyance. But these are great ideas. And you can see, look, we're unlocking ideas, and all we've done is roll some dice. This is easy. You guys got this? All right. I need... Who hasn't rolled yet here? It looks like we lost Rosewolf. IMW. I need you to type exclamation point 1D9, please. Oh, Frenzy, thank you. And if anyone else is here and hasn't rolled yet, please let me know and I'll be happy to call on you. Alright, we land on a 2. A 2. 2 is elf. Although technically, hang on. Is that the same with our character builder? I should have our character builder open. That's usually what we use. The Manual of Character Player Golems. It is not. Let's go back to our standard. Now, you could use the book if you want. Here we go. In this case, we have Dwarf as number 2. And if you want to add a sub-race, you can. Or if you say, well, yeah, whatever, hill and mountain, 6 to 1, half dozen to the other. But let's get another roll here. Is there anyone here who hasn't rolled? Frenzy the Pirate, would you like to participate in this? We don't have Frenzy here. All right. Bersilis, exclamation point 1D9, please. Also 2. It looks like we have both dwarves. Let's go for a different one here. Let's mix up our fantasy races. Now it is on a cooldown, so Bersilis, roll 1D10, and we'll just ignore the 10. Or maybe it'll be Bersilus's choice. Lands on a 1. Dragonborn. We do have dinosaurs. Oh my gosh, we do have dinosaurs. And if you do wish to have... the specifics, I mean, we can always roll for that too. In the current iteration of D&D, they have dropped the racial modifiers for things. So, play however you want. It's your table. I don't care. I don't count. I don't count that towards anyone's social standing or credit score. But we can keep it mixed. We can keep it singular. That's up to you. But know that we have dwarves and dragonborn. All right, Hero Dragon. I need a 1d20 roll, please. And the reason for this, how do these people get along? How do they get along? So when you can't hear a Hero Dragon, exclamation point 1d20. You need the 1 in there, because we have dice rolls for multiples. Lands on a 13. Oh my gosh, the story writes itself! Oh my good golly gracious, everyone. Hang on, we have emotes for this. Contested, I'm sorry, that was Ruler's status. Well, 13 is tension or rivalry. Now it's time for the Ruler status. Rip Artist, will you give me a 1d20 roll, please? Lands on a 7. A feared tyrant? Man, you all thought... Did any of you think writing a book, writing a novel, is going to be difficult? Where you have to stress and go, oh, I literally can't write. You absolutely can. And even though we're making fun and saying, well, this sounds a lot like the Mario Brothers live-action movie... I mean, if it turns out to be similar, cool, we can draw upon that. But ultimately, what we do is still going to be our own. Now, what is a notable trait for this grimdark dystopian region? After Fav, if you're still here, may I please have a 1d20 roll? Lands on a 19. A site of an important tomb or a graveyard. Like the king that has been turned into a mushroom. Site of important... now, I will roll a tiebreaker. Odds or evens. Odds it's tomb, evens it's graveyard. Evens. Site of important graveyard. And now we have to ask ourselves what makes it important. Why? Who or what lies there? Is it a ship graveyard? A soldier's graveyard? A potter's graveyard? By that I mean like a pauper, like someone who has really no assets was found dead and sort of thrown into a like mass burial area. Now, this place is known for its what? Hero Dragon, 1d20, please. Hero Dragon is not with us. Can I get... who's here? Tony Karlstrom. Tony, 1d20, please. Lands on a 4. This place is known for its artists and writers. Alright, 1d20, Hero Dragon. And what is our current calamity? As if living in a fantasy dystopia grimdark setting isn't enough of one. Though this might refine the concept of what is making it grimdark. Lands on a 9. Marauding monsters. If monsters are marauding, the dictator may very well have the place locked down. It's one of those, if you vote me out, yeah, we have votes. I know that it's symbolic, but whatever. Traditional. But if I'm gone, the monsters are going to break in, so you better vote for me. And might hold that as leverage over the populace in some way. Town name or region name, not worried about that just yet. Now, there may be different religions, many different. I mean, how many types of religious buildings are in your city or town or village or whatever, megapolis or country? The one that we're identifying here is simply the one that perhaps there's going to be more concepts about in our story to visit as a location. NPCs could be more directly related. It has a hand in some way. You know what? I want to roll. Not just a tiebreaker. Our religious building is a 1d20. 19. It is a front for a secret cult. Okay. Oh, wait, no, hang on. Oh, that's residence. I'm sorry. I read the wrong chart. Though, that's still compelling. A 19 down here? Oh, a hidden shrine to a fiend or an evil deity. Same thing. Come on, that's the same thing. So, of import here is a hidden shrine to a, odds or evens again. Odds to a fiend. Okay. And of course, we need that rally point, the good old tavern, the pub, the place where people come to hang out. IMW Studio. I need a 2d20 roll from you, please. Okay, Afterfob, thank you for letting me know. What is the name of the important tavern or eatery or something, we'll find out, that our story will incorporate? 17 and 5. The Mysterious Pony. Just as with everything else, there's a reason why this place was made, was decorated as it is, and is called the Mysterious Pony. What is that reason? Is it something that... was it a creature that was found on the site? Is it a memory of the owner from childhood? Is there actually just a mysterious pony? Maybe the tavern is the home base of something like the Pony Express that we had here in the United States before, a lot of, railroad and highway and all this other stuff, where there's a series of outposts that each had a stable of horses and other animals. And what would happen is, in order to get things to places quickly as a courier service, someone would take off from one stable, race the horse to the next, hop on the next horse that was already there, fed, refreshed, and cared for, and ride that horse hard to the next outpost. That was the concept to the Pony Express. So the rider kept moving with the package or the important missive. And the horses got to stay behind and rest at the stable that were scattered throughout the area. It could be something like that. This could play into perhaps sending messages. Or it could just be the owner said, you know what, I want something colorful, and effectively put a My Little Pony out on the shingle on the plank in front of the tavern. Because, dang it, someone needs to have some sort of cheer in this, God's forsaken place or something like that. And, well, maybe what can help answer the question is the type, the tavern style. And let's have Bersilis, if you're still here, will you give me a 1d20 roll? The Vulgar Unicorn? Alright, yep, there we go. 3. A quiet, low-key bar. It wasn't a brothel, Bersilis. Come on, man. Yeah, I don't remember the Vulgar Unicorn, Tony. Alright. With this, now, everything is set up such that... Ta-da-da-da, with what we've looked at for maps, for regions, we have areas. We have inspiration to cast these things over our land. And we will do that coming up, but I need to get up and take a quick break. So, give me 5 minutes or so, and when we come back, I want to go over, if I can, it's 3? It's 3? I might have to do that as part of... I might have to do that as part of tomorrow's, if it's already 3 a.m. Ah, darn. Well, I shouldn't force myself to stay up. I'm already so tired. I am so tired, everyone. Yeah. All right. So this is what we'll do, everyone. Yeah, I really should go to bed. As much as I want to continue, I have to take better care of myself, everyone. So let's go into a raid. Now, we're going to go from the realm of fantasy into that of sci-fi with some battle tech.